Come with me to harvest flowers for 2 farmers markets, a small wedding, and an order for my local yoga studio, all in the next 3 days. It's nearing the end of the season, but we have to cut a lot of flowers this weekend. Luckily, we got a little rain last week and things aren't looking quite so dry. It was getting really bad out there for a little while, and it was not enough rain to reset us to where we normally should be, but at the very least, it's keeping things alive and growing. That is better. Yeah, it is a hot, sunny day today. It's absolutely gorgeous. I have my sunscreen though, and now I have my hat, so I think we're set. So today I'm going to focus mostly on the wedding, and I pretty much have free range of colors and flowers for that. There is no real specifics, although I do have an idea of what she prefers, so it's not going to be very stressful, but I am going to grab the best of what's in bloom right now. I actually already harvested a full bucket of Status and a full bucket of Lysianthus yesterday because there were some pretty dark clouds coming and I thought we might get a bit of a downpour, and those are really my 2 most prolific and important crops right now, so that's already in the house. 2 full buckets is a good start, and I have some more specific things that I'm going to grab next. The first one is the celosia, specifically the one in the back, and that's more of an apricot. I think it might be salmon. And it's funny, as we get closer to fall, the foliage is starting to turn pink, which is really interesting. But this is what I'm looking for the wedding. The netting makes things a little bit more difficult, but straight stems are really important. And these are side shoots, so they're not quite as long. They'll work for the wedding though. Maybe not in wrap bouquets. Oh, that's 1 stem. There we have a double. Now I'm going to sort these later. The ones that are really short are going to end up in mason jars for my Saturday farmers market. Like this one for sure. And I always find it easier to strip stems as I work. It's just one less thing that I have to do later. I think this might be Selway terracotta now that I think about it. I have cut hundreds of stems, maybe hundreds, off of these 2 raised beds full of Lysianthus. Probably over the last 2 to 3 weeks. But there are some gorgeous colors. I don't really know what they are. I got these plugs kind of last minute from another farmer who ordered too many. I do have the list somewhere in the house. But that worked out so perfectly since my seed order got turned around at the border. One of many problems this year, but I love it when things work out in the end. I'm actually going to go to the front next and get some greenery. I've been saving some Baptisia foliage just for this wedding, and I don't want to forget. There's a lot more road traffic noise here in the front, but you guys can enjoy my view while I grab these stems. Traffic noise is one thing, but people really love their ATVs in this neighborhood, and I cannot tell you how often I have wasted an entire filming day waiting for that noise to stop. I do my best. So this is Auric. It's a beautiful deep red. Works really well in late summer, early fall. I might grab some of that too. There is quite a bit. So I grabbed that Auric. I also managed to find some cosmos that are just about to open or at the perfect stage. Some pink and coral colored asters, of which I only had a handful. And I also found some Benary's Salmon Rose zinnias, which I just adore the color of those. Those are my favorite zinnias this year by far. And I think I have a few of those in the house from yesterday too. So all in all, not a bad haul for a quick morning harvest. And now I'm going to go put these inside with the buckets that I already have in there. We'll let them rest for a few hours while I clean the house, and then we'll get to work putting together those wedding bouquets. It is now much later than I thought, but we are ready to make some bouquets. This room, which used to be our dining room, is all kinds of chaos. From all of my farmers market things, I tend to keep flowers arranged on this table just to make it easier to work. More market things and some of my seeds that have started for fall planting. Ignore the cat food. There are 3 buckets and 4 buckets. Now these are the leftovers, and up on the table is what I have organized into what I think is going to make the bulk of these bouquets. So these 4 buckets here are the 4 bridesmaids bouquets, and then this one will be the bridal one. And the request was basically 4 market-sized bouquets and about double size for the bride. The request was for greens, pinks, yellows, purple, which I have in the status down there, and to basically stay away from reds and oranges. So that should be pretty easy. Hi, it's me in editing, just popping in to tell you that the file that I recorded of me making all of these bouquets will not transfer off my camera. Guys, I've tried everything for like the last 2 weeks and I don't want to delay this video any longer. I will show you photos I have in a moment, but if anybody has dealt with a problem like this, trying to get a file off of a Nikon Z30 camera and onto my my iMac, please reach out and let me know, because I've tried everything and I'm at a complete loss. So on with the video, we're gonna pick it up the next day. The groom came early to pick up all the flowers a little earlier than I was expecting him, and all I got was some photos. So I didn't get video. It was a little bit too sunny today. It's overcast now, which is actually better for filming. It was a bit too sunny this morning to get good video, but I did get a few photos. So here are the photos of the bridal bouquet and the 4 bridesmaids bouquets that went out the door just before 9 a.m. this morning. I also had to make a subscriber bouquet for a neighbor who wasn't here on her regular pickup day, and I brought some flowers to the yoga studio, and that was only 1 bunch actually. There was only 1 order, and sometimes I bring a bunch extra because they always sell. Ooh, that wind is picking up. But I didn't this time because it didn't look like I'm gonna get quite enough for my farmers markets. And it is what it is this season with that massive drought that we had. We're still pretty much technically in drought conditions, although the rain we had a few days ago did help. But I've been out harvesting again today. There are 4 full buckets in the house already. And what I'm hoping to get today is probably the rest of my Lisianthus. We're gonna get Status, we're gonna get Ageratum. There's probably some snapdragons, and then I have some, I actually sell a lot of mason jar arrangements, sometimes more than wrap bouquets itself, which is good because I have a lot of stuff, including a bunch of zinnias that are too short for the wrap bouquets. So I have a bunch of just smaller cups that I'm gonna hopefully fill with small stuff. But let's get to work and go find the Lisianthus first. That is a fantastic start. And there's still a bunch of unopened buds too that I'll be able to use for my subscriber bouquets throughout the week. I don't have too many left at the end of the season. There are some really dark clouds that have popped up all of a sudden. I've got the Ageratum and I did all of the Lisianthus. I have a lot more to do, so I'm gonna put the camera in the house in the off chance that we're getting a storm, and I'm gonna work as fast as I can to see if I can cut the rest of these flowers before we get any weather. I hope we don't. I hope I'm wrong, but those clouds are really dark and the wind is picking up. Well, I'm done, and it didn't rain, but I think I got a really good harvest and it didn't take me all that long. So I now have to let it all sit for a couple of hours just to cool off, and now I can take a quick little break and then go make supper. Morning. We're on the road. I forgot my camera. I'm not very good at this vlogging thing, you guys. I have to admit. But it's a half an hour drive and I'll try to take some clips while we're setting up. And then I'll check in with you throughout the market. This is the Saturday market is my biggest market. And train tracks. It's really hard to tell what I have for flowers until I actually get there and I'm making bouquets. Because I set up a bouquet bar, I only make about a dozen bouquets. I think I have 5 or 6 jars that I made up last night. But yeah, I'll check in with you when I get there and then throughout the market and let you know how sales are going. Little update at 11:30 a.m. It's been 2.5 hours and I have only 2 jars left and a handful of status bunches. There were people waiting for me right after I got set up, so I didn't have time to take the camera out. I mean my phone, even once. It's been crazy, which is fantastic. Crazy in a good way, of course. It's so much easier to pack up and go home when all of the flowers are gone. Actually, I kept a bucket of, after I finished making bouquets and jars, I kept aside, sorry if it's noisy in here, a full bucket of filler. That's going to be a good head start to tomorrow, because of course if I sell out I have to go harvest all over again for tomorrow's market. We are packed up and back in Windsor. I ended up selling $520, which is great. It's maybe my 3rd highest market there. The highest I've ever done is just over 600. I don't mind sharing those numbers. My goal is to hit $1,000 in flower sales a week. I've done 2 other bouquets plus the wedding, so that's up in the 700 with 1 more market to go tomorrow. I ended up coming home with 3 bunches of status and 1 jar. I also have a full bucket of leftover filler stuff, various fillers, but that means that I do need to go and do a big harvest at some point. Luckily it's overcast. It's a little bit breezy, so it's not too hot. I have to unpack. I have to wash all my buckets, and then I'll probably have supper and a little rest and go harvest again later. Good morning. Breakfast time. It is about 7 a.m. Sunday morning. Everyone else is still sleeping. I'm just enjoying my coffee. I got 7 bouquets made last night. I have a bunch of bundles of status, and I decided that I was going to make my jar arrangements when I'm at the market. So I'm going to plan to leave around 8:30, maybe a bit before, so that I can get there nice and early. I know the light isn't great in here, but this is why we call this the sunny room. Actually, I could be out on the front deck, but I'm comfy here. I'll save that for tomorrow. All right, we are packed and on the road, and it's about 15 minutes later than I wanted to leave, only because my neighbor was outside and we were chatting, but that happens a lot. So luckily it is only a 5-minute drive, and we don't start until 10. It's now 10 to 9, so loads of time. There we go. Forgot my hat. Coffee's getting cold already. It is 11 a.m. It's been 1 hour. We've sold 4 bouquets, 1 jar, and my subscriber came to pick up their bouquet. So that's a good start. The bouquet bar or bulk stem selection is much smaller than usual, but I have sold a handful of them so far. So I always have that available just in case. Oh, he's such a pretty boy. It's just afternoon and I've sold all of my bouquets, all but 2 jars. And I have 2 bunches of dried flowers left. So it's been a pretty good day. Lots of crowds, and afternoon it tends to die off a little bit, so I'm going to dip into my lunchbox and have a little snack. napkin. So we've got a little bubbly, walnuts, a chocolate bar, and some fruit. Has to be a little bit of a treat. There we are. I just got home and I did some quick math before I got out of the car because it's nice and quiet and cool in here with the air conditioner on. And total flower sales this week was $928. That's pretty good. I've been aiming for 1,000 and I did a little bit of planning, and next year I am aiming for between 1,500 and 2,000 in flower sales a week from my tiny cutting garden on our average sized third of an acre backyard. So here's hoping I can do it. That is the goal. But for this week, I'm very happy with $928. And I actually came home with 2 jars and 2 bundles of status left. So a little bit of leftovers, and I'm happy to have a little bit of flowers around the house. It's been a while since I've had leftovers, so I'm gonna find some nice places to put those. I'm gonna unload the car and wash all my buckets, and then I think I'm gonna relax for a while and have a dip in the pool. Thank you all so much for watching. See you next time.